Hey, welcome back YouTube family for another video. We are so close to 2021 and I'm really excited about next year, this upcoming year. And if you're watching this video and it currently is, 2021 or even 2022 or 2023, whenever you see this video, what I'm gonna go over in this video will still apply to you in any given point in time. I just wanna have a goal planning session and really get into how to properly set goals and expectations and align yourself with what you want to do, what you think you want to do now and in the future. So it's very important that we get started. We get an early start. We got to a good start with planning our goals and not waste any time. We don't want to wait until the next year comes to start planning. We want to go ahead and be prepared in advance, right? So now is the time to start setting your goals. Hopefully you've already done it, because by the time I put up this video, it's going to be about a day or two away from New Year's, or like 3 days, whenever. So we're right there. So I just want you to go into this upcoming year or this upcoming season of your life with some deep focus and really concentrate on what it is you want to accomplish moving forward. So for this video, you definitely want to have a pen and paper ready so we can really dive in. I'm a huge believer in writing down your goals on paper and not just saying them. I believe in speaking to existence, writing it down and visualizing it. Because it's so much more manageable. Our minds have limited space, and so we must, at least have it on paper, written down somewhere. That way we can remember it and manage it and keep up with it and stay focused, right? And I just think there's power in the pen and power in writing things down and actually seeing them. I believe it's almost like writing things to existence, and that's the first step, right? Getting it out of your mind onto paper, and then once we have it on paper, we're gonna work towards it. So number one thing I do, like I said, is just have yourself a little notebook that you just write out whatever you want, ideas, goals, whatever it might be, okay? And so we're gonna start from the beginning. I've already kind of written some of my goals. I have to do part two, which we'll talk about what step two is once you learn what step one is, right? So the first thing I like to do when it comes to setting goals is first do a self-analysis, right? And what that means is first, before we set goals, we must identify where we're currently at in life. So in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you're at, right? Because that is gonna make all the difference. If you ask me for directions to the nearest gas station, I can't give you directions unless I know where you're at, right? Because where you're at is gonna change the paths I give you. And me knowing where you're at, I can't tell you where to go if I don't know where you're at, right? So you can't tell yourself where to go if you don't know where you're at, right? So identify what you're currently at in life. So where are you at, in your relationships? Where are you at in your finances? Where are you at mentally, spiritually, in all those different areas? So just do a self-examination, a self-analysis. Write it all down on paper, whatever comes to your mind, whatever words, ideas, just whatever comes to your mind, put it down on paper. Do a bit of what I call a brain dump. Write everything down. It doesn't matter, whatever words. If you're thinking of your life right now, you think of tacos, write down tacos. It literally doesn't matter. Just spill it all out and kind of just reflect on this past year, these past few months, and just release it all. And that way we can now that it's out of us, we can open up space for what's coming in next. And we can also, work towards where we're going. And another thing is knowing where you're at first will help you kind of understand how long it's going to take to get to where you want to go. And we can then, once we do that, we examine what vehicle we're in and all those different factors, right? If you open up your map on your GPS, it's going to tell you the route, right, to where you want to go. Plus, it's going to tell you how long it's going to take, whether it's going to be you're taking a car, a train, a plane, or you're walking. It's going to tell you all the different times. If you notice that if you're going somewhere, and it may say it's an 8-minute ride in a car, but on foot it's 45 minutes. So principle number one I want to ask you is, what is your vehicle? What vehicle are you currently in, right? What is your current vehicle? Are you walking to where you want to go, or are you driving? The beautiful thing about life and our goals is that we get to dictate the pace at which we want to move. And if you don't believe that, then let me just explain this one thing, is that everything you want to accomplish is a discipline and an action away. And that just means that the body you want is a discipline and an action away. It's a discipline going to the gym consistently, and the action is going to the gym, right? But the discipline is doing it over and over and over again. And so whether you go to the gym 1 time a week or 2 times a week or whatever will dictate the pace at which you move to get to the body you want to get, right? So with that being said, so once we've done a mind spill on, and reflect and kind of just kind of journal where we're at, then now we have to examine we have to figure out, where do we want to go? Like, what do we really want? And so I do a mind up number 2 after we've done mind up number 1 of where we're at. I do another mind up of where I want to go and what do I want the future to look like. And a lot of people get confused on, a lot of people are lost and thinking to themselves, I don't know what I want to do in life, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. That's why I'm in entrepreneurship. I tell people that. People say, what do you want to do with your life? I don't know. That's why I'm in entrepreneurship. That's why I'm experimenting with life and not putting myself in a box. And there's nothing wrong with trying many different things, because all those are going to pretty much lead you to where eventually that you need to be. So what I like to do, if you don't know you want to go, and it comes down, like I said, this all is relevant to the process of figuring out our goals. If you don't know what you want to do right now, the best thing you can do is reverse engineer what you want out of life. So if you don't know what you want to do specifically, that's perfectly fine. And honestly, I don't blame you at all, because many of us are not going to know that exact thing. So instead, by reverse engineering, what we're going to do is we're going to look at, what do we want the qualities of our life to be like? And if we can work our way there and work backwards, then we can eventually look at what vehicles we might need to look into in order to get there. And so I'll go off of myself, right? I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I can say that some of the qualities that I want in my life that are very meaningful to me, and things that I would need to be non-negotiables in my life, is relationships, right? I want many relationships. I realize the only time I'm really truly happy is around other people. People give me energy, and I love making new relationships and being able to have impact, and people impact me. So for me, people are a huge factor in the quality of life. So I know I want for myself many relationships. I want a wealth of relationships. Another quality I want is time freedom, right? I want time freedom. I want to be able to, do what I want when I want. I want financial freedom. I want to be able to do what I want when I want and be able to afford it. So I want to have a life to where that, if I'm stressed out, I can just, say, cool, I'm going to go buy a ticket to Hawaii and fly there tomorrow, and say, hey, call my friends, say, hey, you guys want to go? That's something I want in a life. I want a life where I impact many people. And so the best thing you can do for yourself is start there, and you start checking lists. You go, okay, I want that, I want that, I want that. Now you can come back to phase 1 and look at, okay, these are the things I want. This is where I'm at. This is the vehicle I'm in. Well, are you aligned, right? You want to do all these things, but the vehicle you in doesn't match. And so now we got to figure out, how do we move vehicles, right? So when it comes to my process of setting goals, and like I said, everything I talk about is really lessons for me, because these are things that I need to practice with. These are things that I need to be a practitioner on and really do. And these are things I really try to implement in my life. So you can see right here, I have my notebook. You can see I have stuff written down. So the first thing I said, do my mind dump. I just write words. So for me, I'll give you an example. The first part I have on my kind of goals and my kind of just my outlook for 2021 is I have words like practitioner, travel, organize, simplify and eliminate, direction, networking, content, deep focus, SOPs, which stands for standard operating procedures. So I'm just writing, you can see it's a bunch of just random words, but they're all relevant to things I need to implement, how I want to see myself, what I want to do. I want to be a connector. So those are just some things. You start there, and then now we get more specific, a little more specific, step 2. And so for the next thing I do is I say in 2021, I want to, and I just put bullet points. So I'm gonna just go through some of them. I'm not gonna tell you everything, but let's go through some. So in 2021, I want to gross $500,000 or more. I want to buy a Tesla. I want to build an amazing network, or continue to build an amazing network. I want to make at least 6 figures in the stock market. I want to do 3 real estate transactions, so 3 real estate investments. I want to help educate thousands of people through my courses, programs, and my YouTube channels. I want to travel to 3 to 5 countries minimum. So those are some of my goals I have written down, right? And that's step 2 is just bullet pointing the goals, and just whatever you want to accomplish is putting it down there. Whatever it is you think you want to do, who you want to become, changes you want to make in your life, just bullet point it, right? But we're not done yet. A lot of people would stop there after they have it bullet pointed. Well, now phase 3, which is a very, very important step after you've done those 3 things, well, those 2 things mainly. Phase 3 is we're going to take out either another notebook or move over to other pages. And now we want to go through each goal that we just named and figure out and identify how we're going to obtain it, right? And get more specific, get some details on it, make it realistic, right? So if I say I want to buy a Tesla, here's an example. Now I need to look at, okay, if I want to buy a Tesla, let's dissect this goal. What is that really, what am I really telling myself? So first of all, I need to identify what kind of Tesla do I want? How much is this Tesla going to cost? You know, total or cost a month? What type of credit score do I need to obtain this car? What type of down payment is going to be required for me to purchase this car? I don't believe in buying cars in all cash. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, so these are some factors. You know, what is my income going to need to look like to be able to afford this car? And now we get more specific and break it down, and we really tell ourselves what we really want to accomplish. Just saying I want to buy a Tesla is kind of general. So how do we accomplish that is the most important part. That is like, that's the meat of it, right? Right here on paper is just a word. Now we really need to look at an action plan. So now if I know the number, I know what type of Tesla I want, I know, you know, the year, make, and model, I know how much it's going to cost, I know how much the payment needs to be. Now, okay, now I'm really telling myself, buying a Tesla really, this goal is really saying I need to be at this income, I need to have this money specifically put in these assets and to produce this much to be able to afford this car. Got it? That's a lot more specific than just saying I want to buy a Tesla. We're getting down to what we really mean, right? So we're going to go through every goal and break it down that way. Okay, so another thing I like to do once I have my goals written down is I like to go through each goal and kind of rate the goal like on a scale from like 1 to 10 of importance. 1 being least important goal, not a big deal if you accomplish it or not, it doesn't really matter, right? Which means it basically just means it's not the top of the list. You want to accomplish it, but it's not the main thing. 10 being it's a must. If I don't focus on anything, if nothing else happens, this needs to happen. So I would go through all of your goals in your list and really just mark them 1 through 10, the importance, rate the importance. So that way you know where your attention really needs to be at during the year, okay? And then sometimes you're gonna go back through your goals and rate them 1 through 10, and anything that's a 1, you might wanna just eliminate it. Maybe it's not that important and just focus all of your attention on the bigger things. And then once you accomplish those, if there's time left in the year, you can go back and accomplish those things that have 1s beside them because they're not that big, right? But also I do recommend setting a goal that's not too far out of reach. That way you just feel like you're making progress. So that's sometimes a little mental trick is also you can kind of work backwards as well and go and knock out all the 1s first so you can feel like you made some progress. But there's a little saying, I think I said this in another video, but the best way to eat an elephant is 1 bite at a time. So when you think about your goals, how can you bite them down into smaller pieces to get to where you want to go? Okay, cool. So we've done that. We've marked them. We've rated these goals. We've written them down. We know what we want. Now we have to really create a plan of action. And this is where it becomes even more important. So now we know that we said these are our goals. Oh, all these goals are written down are within a year, right? So now that we've written down our yearly goals, now we need to break them down by month. That way we have a plan of action. So we're gonna break them down and say, okay, this is what I want to accomplish in a year. Now we need to look at each goal and say, and estimate how long we think it's gonna take us to get to that goal. So now we can allocate the time and be working purposely and strategically towards each and every goal. So you're gonna go January, February, March, April, May, June, July, so forth, so on. And in January, so we open the month of January and we're gonna organize that month based on how we've rated our goals and the level of importance. And now we're gonna work backwards. And so we're gonna plan out and map out our month based on what we need to accomplish in order to get there, right? So if, for example, if I wanna gross over $500,000 in a year, I need to be looking to pull out my calculator and figure out the math on that and what I need to be, kind of like in an estimation, be doing or putting in place in order to hit that number. And so now if we're gonna align ourselves with our goals by month, we're gonna then look at our calendars and then we're gonna operate off of our calendar, right? Which is a huge factor. And this is like, I'm talking to myself right now because I can tell you this, an empty calendar is the murderer of all dreams, right? If you do not, it's the murderer of direction. If you don't plan out and fill up your calendar, your time will be stolen. It is an empty calendar is the thief of time. I could go on and on. Like if you want to accomplish certain goals, you have to map it out on your calendar. You have to delegate your time. You have to allocate your time. You have to be in charge and tell it where to go. Just like your dollars, your money, you have to tell your time where to go. And like, guys, I'm telling myself this because the times where I don't have anything scheduled on my calendar are the times where I'm the most unproductive, the times where I can get distracted and people call me and say, you doing anything? I'm just like, oh, no, I'm not doing anything, because my calendar is empty, guys. So fill up your calendar and work off of there. You know, you want to work off of your calendar. That's a huge but simple thing we can do, right? Simplicity. Another thing we can do when it comes to knocking out our goals and really playing like a boss is to simplify and eliminate. I recognize throughout the year is that I'll start with a game plan, and then I'll add things on, I'll get distracted, and then now I have a list of 100 different things I need to do, that some things that aren't even important, but they just get added to the list. So in order to knock out the goals we want to accomplish, we must zero in and focus in, and call it deep focus, right? So, and we're going to need to just really, when I say deep focus, if you think of deep focus, that means you can't be focusing on too many things at one time. So look at your life right now, and what things can you eliminate that aren't important right now in the long-term mission? These are things that can be put on the back burner or completely eliminate, period. So you're focused, so you can put deep focus into those important goals for a certain amount of time until you accomplish them. And then you can move on to the next thing. So for me, I know for next year, I've already eliminated some things that I know that I've been either procrastinating on or just has been put on back burner for a long time. I just completely eliminated it out of my mind. So that way it's not even taking up headspace or creating any extra stress on myself. So I really advise you guys to simplify and eliminate things out of your life that aren't really driving you towards your ultimate mission, right? And another one of the most important things when it comes to us looking at our lives and what we want to accomplish is that all of our goals are going to be based on people and purpose, right? People and purpose. So us as humans, there's nothing you're going to do in life that's going to be just you. Every decision we make, even if you are single, you live alone, whatever, you don't have any family, every decision you're going to make is to affect people and purpose. And I'll tell you this why. This is why, right? When you set goals, when you want to go after something in life, you got to think about legacy, right? So everything you do, like the decision you make today, even if you're by yourself, right? Even if you're solo, it's people and purpose, because you weren't created just for the benefit of your life, right? And what I mean by this is, let's talk about wealth for a second. When you think about wealth creation, it's not just about you. And honestly, you're the least important person in the long-term picture of wealth, because wealth outlasts you. Wealth is something that lives past your death, right? Wealth is something that should go on for generations and generations. So when you think about building wealth, and you think about the decisions you're making day to day in your finances, it's affecting future generations, even if you don't have kids. Who could you have impacted? Who could you have touched that then would have been able to create wealth for themselves, and they create wealth for their generation? And then that generation creates wealth for their generation. And so this now is long-term thinking. It's not just thinking about but thinking about we, us, and and the lineage that's going to follow after we leave, and even people who aren't even in our direct circle that we can impact. For example, being here on YouTube, when I'm thinking about, when I'm tired, I feel like putting a video, I'm just thinking about right? But these videos aren't just about me, because somebody's going to watch these videos and somebody's going to benefit from them. Somebody's going to be encouraged by them. Somebody's going to take action. Somebody's going to learn something new that's going to change their life, that is in return is going to change someone else's life. And it's like a snowball effect that keeps happening on and on and on. So people and purpose. What people are you out to impact, and what's your purpose behind it? So everything that's going to be operated off of people and purpose. And I know that's so true for myself. And guys, like, I put out these videos not to be seen, like, I'm not trying to be a motivational speaker. I'm just speaking from like literally what I truly believe life is about. And these are things I think are like really, the things I think are real life principles, not just a bunch of guru hype stuff, but things that are real success principles, things that it really takes. And the evidence is there. The evidence already exists. This isn't me giving my like theory on it. These are things I'm repeating information from people who are mega wealthy, not just in money, but in relationships, spiritually, physically. So this is what I'm talking about right now. Is not just things that I'm trying to do in my life, but what has been proven over and over and over again. So, you can take it as that. Or you can just be like, oh, this is a bunch of BS. I'm not going to do any of it. I'm just go about my life. Cool. That's great. Right. But everything I put out here is only to try to help as much as possible. Like I said, I'm talking to myself, but but I feel like these conversations I have with myself are valuable for other people to listen to, especially if you're not getting this in the household that you're in or the people you're around. And so I just want to encourage you to write your goals down and align yourself with what you wrote down on paper and do it daily. So every time you're setting your schedule out and you're spending your time, is your time being spent towards the things that you basically put in your budget? And your budget is this goal sheet, right? So now we got 24 hours in a day, and now it's time to allocate time, dedicated time towards what we say we want to achieve. So we got to be in alignment with our mission, with our purpose that we have written down and set to accomplish. So guys, I hope this reaches, at least one person. I hope one person gets benefits from this. I hope one person takes action and writes their goals out and truly plans it out. Because I'm super excited. I mean, I want to see so many people. I want to see everybody win in 2021, regardless of what happens in the year, right? Regardless of whatever nonsense happens in the world, I want to see everybody win, right? And in order for us to all win, we all have to be in it together. We all have to be taking action, and we can't be asleep. We can't be lazy. We can't be unaligned with ourselves, and we can't be disorganized. We have to have it on paper, right? So, guys, definitely tap in. Whenever you get this video, whether you get it, before 2021, you get the first month in January, February, whatever. Get focused, get zeroed in, and accomplish what you set out to do, because it is possible. Whatever you set out to do, you can do it, man. Like I 100% believe that. Like I said, once again, I'm not here to hype y'all up and give y'all a bunch of motivational stuff. That's not really my thing. I'm really just here to encourage you and tell you that it is possible, regardless of all the people in your life telling you that you can't do it. Your goals, people telling you your goals are too big because they think it's too small. So, eliminate some people out of your circle, zero in, tap in with the people that are aligned with what you want to do, find some mentors, and really just, guys, go get it. But in the meantime, I want to see you win. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share this video with one person that you know would benefit. Go take the link, share it on your social media, your Facebook page, and help me reach more people with a message that I believe they need to hear. Anyway, guys, peace out, much love, and go put the work in right now.